Good morning and welcome to week 7's weigh in and oh my god, I'm covered in breakfast. What the hell? Let's get started once I clean up. Oh my god, holy shit. So let's kick off this week by having a look at what I ate last week and let's check out the macros. So there you go, 8,218 calorie deficit for the week, which is about half my calories for maintenance. Half the calories required for maintenance to maintain my body being the way it is, and I've had half of those. So that's pretty good. And as much as I've had a couple of days where the calories have been a little bit more, I've always remained in deficit. So there's no reason why I shouldn't be deficiting. I'm losing. Don't like the word losing because I ain't a loser. But I am decreasing. Right? So there's a few things that we need to have a look at this week. And that is non-scale victories, which are huge, and also I want to compare pictures of me that were taken on day 1 and pictures of me that were taken this morning, so after 7 weeks. Okay, now one of the reasons that I'm doing this is because last week, as you know, I gained almost 3 stone in water weight. 3 stone in water weight. That is a huge amount of water weight. That is a massive amount. But I'm aware, because of my non-scale victories, because the scales don't always tell all the story, okay? So don't get all your knickers in a knot over the scales, because they don't always tell the whole story. But your non-scale victories start to tell a story, okay? They are a bigger part of the story. So let's have a look at what happened this week. Okay, so this is a bit weird, it's a bit cramped, but we're going to have to do the best we can. Now these particular jeans are the ones that I've had in my cupboard sitting there for the last 18 months that I haven't been able to wear. So I've actually got them on. Not just got them on, but over Fred. Okay, so that's quite a huge thing. And quite frankly, Fred is starting to become conspicuous. So yeah, he's not as hidden by the side here anymore. The other thing is, and you can laugh all you like at this, my undies, man. Jesus, they haven't been this. If I didn't pull them up like this, they'd be falling off. And you can laugh all you like, but I haven't had them higher than that for ever since I bought them. In fact, I need new undies on Wednesday or I'm going to be embarrassed at some point. Now this particular top that I'm wearing, I haven't been able to wear for the last 3 years. 3 years. Okay, now I wear significantly mostly these tops. So I have hundreds of them, literally hundreds of them. Okay, slightly different from each other sometimes, or I'll have 5 or 6 of the same, because that's what I managed to pick up for a price that I was willing to pay for them. But this is what I wear because that's what I'm comfortable in, okay? So, but this particular one I have not been able to wear for 2 or 3 years. Now the reason being that this was too tight around my armpits, okay? And I wasn't able to get this fabric to stretch over my boobs. However, it's now stretched a lot further and it doesn't roll back, and I know that because I wore it yesterday when we went to go and do the shopping, and I've got it on today because I'm only half dressed at this point because I went and did my weigh-in. Okay, now there's a couple of other things, non-scalable victories that I want to talk about, and a couple of them are a little bit really okay. So I have a mobility aid that helps me clean myself after I've used the bathroom, okay? It's a stick-like thing and you roll toilet paper around it and you use that. If you don't have a bidet situation, which we don't, I have one that I can attach, but until Tanny is ready or we move, it won't be attached, okay? But I have this thing, and that just for the record, I will always probably have to use it because of the back injury that I have sustained. I will probably always have to use it in one way or another, on some days more than others, okay? However, for the last few years I've had to use it for everything until this week, and now I don't have to use it for everything. The more particularly messy sides of things I will probably always use it for, because if I don't have to put my hands down there, I ain't putting my hands down there. That's just the way it is, okay? But the fact is that I don't have to for most things now, which is incredibly good as a win. The next one is that I actually managed to shower, dry and dress myself by myself for the first time in 5 years. Now Tanny helps me to wash where bits that I can't reach. He also helps me dry myself because obviously there's bits that I can't reach. So he does that for me. And that's not all to do with my weight. Part of that again is to do with my hips and back, that they don't bend the way they used to. But I have a plan for that, and we'll talk about that later on. Anywho, so yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with that, which is quite exciting. I think it's quite exciting. Genuinely, I think that's quite exciting. I really do. I really genuinely do. Also, just a little side note, because it's got nothing to do with that. The itching that I get in my ears all the time is due to perimenopause. It's a symptom of perimenopause. Itching ears. I thought that I've had a fungal infection in my ears for the last 4 years. But it's not. It's a symptom of perimenopause. It's a completely annoying, frustrating, drive you round the friggin' bend symptom of perimenopause. But it is a symptom of perimenopause, which is a pain in the ass. But it is what it is. Anywho, so there you go. Little wins, man. Oh, and I slid my shoes on without a problem. That was kind of cool as well. right? So that was really, really kind of cool. So yeah, there we go. So the plan for this week is to start getting a bit more mobile. Okay, so we're going to start getting a bit more mobile. I'm going to be setting an alarm. I'm going to be setting 6 alarms on my phone to go and use the rebounder for 1 minute per hour for 6 hours of the day. No more than that. I don't want to overdo it. I'm just going to do that for now. Secondly, I'm going to start doing a little bit of Tai Chi. Now, I don't care what anyone thinks about this. I really, really don't. But at the moment, the weather is incredibly unpredictable here where I live. At the moment, we can barely see the houses in front of us, which are 15 feet away from my door, because foggy. It's foggy. It's ridiculous. Okay. So, I'm going to be, oh, God damn it. So I'm going to be starting in the mornings to do 20 minutes of Tai Chi. Okay. And we're going to see how I go from there. I'm going to be doing very, very basic, very early on stuff. And where some of it says you need to do 3 to 5 minutes a day, I'm going to be doing 1 minute per day of those things until I gain some stamina and some strength. I'm not going to be doing a lot of the squatty squat stuff because my knees need the help, but I will be doing some of it to try and build up the muscles around the knees to strengthen them somewhat. Do what I can, you know. So we're going to see how we go. That's going to be really, really awesome. Yeah. It's 3 days till payday, so we're living on the bare minimum of what we got in the cupboard at the moment. I have I found a food hack. Let's have a look at the food hack. Right, so if you're anything like me, you like to have a little bit of something that you fancy, right? And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, as long as you make an allowance for it. Okay, now this week, as you've seen, I've had ice cream, I've done a couple of naughties, and there's nothing wrong with that because it was all within what I was doing. Okay, not a problem, not a problem in the world. So Tanny decided that when we were in Aldi yesterday, he wanted to pick up a pizza for himself, and I was like, oh, pizza. Now, you've got to remember that you do not have to eat all of it. Don't eat all of it. It's that simple. Now, my plan, because I got one of these, a stone baked flatbread chicken and mango, right? Topped with creme fraiche, chicken, peppers, red onion, mango chutney sauce. Cool. Sounds wonderful. Probably not quite as exciting as I think it might be, but we're going to try it and see what happens. Now, for half of this pizza, or half of this flatbread, okay, 392 calories. Now, that's fine. I could have that, and I could have that for tea, and there'd be not a problem at all in the world. When Tanny has pizza, I could have half of this. What happens to the other half? What happens to the other half? Well, let's have a think about it. Lunchtime is very much a grab and go position for me. I have to grab what's easy so that I can come back and do some work, or it might be that my knees and my body have already said, no, that's enough for today. We're just going to grab and go what we've got so that we don't have to do anything else until tea time, right? But it's very much a grab and go position. If I cook the whole pizza and cut the other half of this pizza into 6 pieces, hold on, Don't get ahead of me. That means that 392 divided by 6 is 65.3 calories. I could have a piece of that to go for my lunch. Or even if I had 2 bits, it's only 130 calories. And then I could have some fruit with that. Yeah? It's little things like that that make it easier for you, and make it easier for others, and make it easier for me. Because we're not denying ourselves, we're working it into what we can and cannot have according to our calorie deficit goals. Okay? That's where we're at. That's our cheat hack. That's our cheat hack. Okay? Now, many takeaways do not have the nutritional information for their products, because mostly they're corner stores who just don't have the facility to do that. So it's only places like Pizza Hut and Domino's and all of those guys that skyrocket their calories anyway, that are going to have any kind of nutritional information, because they can afford to pay someone to put the effort into doing that, right? So just buy one. Or here's an idea. Make your own. Make your own. Even if you buy the flatbread, or you buy a naan, or you buy, I don't know, any kind of flatbread. Any kind of flatter bread that's got a little bit given focaccia. Buy focaccia and do it. A thinner focaccia, obviously, duh, if that's what you want to do. Or make it the dough yourself. It could even end up cheaper again. The point is, you don't have to eat all of it. You don't have to eat all of it. And if you add it into your calorie deficit and your meal plan for that day, how is that a bad thing? You know, my breakfast this morning, I had tom yum soup with konjac noodles, with prawns, seafood sticks, and sausages. You know what blew that out of the water? The friggin' sausages. Okay? The sausages did, and that's what I was wearing, was all that tom yum goodness. Because, you know, the konjac noodles kind of flipped. Okay, so 643 calories for breakfast this morning. That's quite huge for my breakfast, but you take 365 of that off for 2 friggin' sausages. 2 sausages. 2 sausages. And you end up with... Oh, I'm going to have to do this again. 643 minus 365. 278. So it's not all about what you're eating. Okay? 278 calories is totally acceptable to me for breakfast. It doesn't bother me at all. Actually, 643 is totally acceptable for breakfast, and that doesn't bother me at all. That still leaves me 782 calories for the day, because my calorie goal this week is 1425. But it also means that I can have some of this for breakfast with some fruit. It also means that this evening that I can have jacket sweet potatoes, which is what we're going to be doing. Well, I'm having the sweet potatoes, he's having potatoes. Okay, but that's what we're doing for tea tonight. It's not a hardship. It's not a hardship, and I will come in within my calories. You've just got to work it all in to what you have and what you can afford. So if what you can afford is one of these, which costs like $1.99, right? or a 99p pizza, just look, make sure it's got a nutritional label on it. You should be fine, right? As long as it's got a nutritional label, you should be able to find it in the NutriCheck app or whatever app you're using in your country, right? Yeah. Am I having it today? No. I have other things planned for today. Thank you very much. Yes, I do. So yeah, just give yourself some grace, okay? Give yourself some grace. Allow yourself to have the things that you like. Just don't go and eat a whole one. Would I go and eat a whole one of these? Probably. If given half a chance, I probably would have. But actually, I prefer to have, I've noticed, and I am allowing my own growth to tell me that I enjoy eating a little bit of this and that. And I'd rather have a little bit of this and that. So rather than sit there and eat a whole pizza, I'm quite happy to have a pizza with a few other little picky bits. And that works for me. It might work for you, but it may not work for everyone. So take it easy. Yeah, let's have a look at what the scales said this week. So for something completely different, and because I'm feeling particularly brave this morning, I'm going to show you my before and after pictures from day 1 to today. Yeah, because I'm feeling brave. So like I said, the scales don't tell the whole story, but your pictures can, your clothes can, what you're capable of doing can, and it gives you a whole picture. So stay in your calorie deficit, start moving a bit more, and you will see the difference. Sure, we get head up sometimes, and we get caught up sometimes with hormone weight and water weight and all of those things, right? And probably every month I will end up gaining a significant portion of the weight that I've lost back because of hormones and water weight. But does it stop me? No. Do we keep going? Yes, we do. Why? Because we can see the difference. We can genuinely see the difference. Now, Tanny said to me he could see a significant difference yesterday when we were talking about it. And the more that you notice that is going on with you, the more you will notice. So stop focusing on the negative and start focusing on the positive. And the more you focus on the positive, the more you will see the positive. Okay? Now, I will see you guys during the week, I am sure. And obviously, again, same time here next week for weigh in and chat next Monday. See you then. Bye.